Hey, folks, good morning and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. It is game day, Thursday, November 21st. The Pittsburgh Steelers will play the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland at 8:15 p.m. today. I will be there for Pittsburgh Sports Now, along with Ed Thompson and Brendan Howe. We have a jam-packed day here on the YouTube channel, so stay tuned for that. We have the debut of our new show, Steelers Spotlight, with Aaron Becker, coming up a little bit later with a former Steelers player. We have an early episode of Steelers Afternoon Drive with me and DB giving our full predictions for Steelers Browns, and then Steelers post game with me and Matt Geica after the game, along with locker room videos, along with, I don't know, maybe some shenanigans from the road in Cleveland. Who knows? Like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications here on the YouTube channel so you don't miss a thing. And make sure you go over to SteelersNow.com and check out all the content there as well. Usually on Fridays before a Sunday game, I give my matchup to watch for the Steelers, and this time I'm going to do it today for tonight's game. And I'm having a really hard time picking one. There's a bunch of good matchups I like in this game, but I think I got to go with this one because I think it just stands out to me so much. And that is, if you're watching the Pittsburgh Steelers offense against the Cleveland Browns defense, you're going to notice someone not there for the Browns, and that is star linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, number 6 in the middle of the Cleveland defense. It's funny that he and Patrick Queen both wear 6 because I feel like they play the same roles for their team in this division and have for a couple of years now. Koramoah is a Pro Bowler. He can run with the best of them. He can tackle really well. He's not the biggest guy, but he sticks his nose in there. Suffered a tragic and apparently serious neck injury, and was hospitalized. And we're wishing him the best in his recovery from that. But replacing number 6 in the middle of that Browns defense is an old friend around these parts. He's not wearing 55 anymore. You'll find him in brown and white and orange wearing number 30, and that's Devin Bush. Bush is now the starting weak side linebacker for the Bills with JOK out, Jordan Hicks in the middle, and Mohamed Diabate on the strong side. And Bush has been playing a lot, man, and it is not, well, I mean, you guys know. Look, Devin Bush is a small linebacker. He can cover just fine, but when he's asked to do things like shed guards, it does not generally go well. He played in the last 2 games with JOK out, 81 and 72% of the team's defensive snaps. That's a whole bunch, and the results have not been going well. I mean, obviously, if you just look at the scoreboard, could tell you that from last week, at 35-14 loss to the Saints. The week before that, a 27-10 loss to the Los Angeles Chargers. The team doesn't exactly run it up, but 120 yards rushing for the Chargers, 111 yards rushing for the Saints, and I'm sorry, I got those numbers wrong. 96 yards rushing for the Chargers, 214 for the Saints. My apologies. 96 for the Chargers, 214 for the Saints. 7.6 yards per carry for the New Orleans Saints. 7.6. That's just absurd. 5 rushing touchdowns over the last 2 weeks. They've come on explosive plays. They've come at the goal line. They're not stopping anybody on the ground right now without JOK. They also, recently just traded Za'Darius Smith, the second outside defensive end, opposite Myles Garrett, which gives an easy way to run away from 95. And at the other side of this Cleveland defense, you can minimize Garrett a whole lot easier that way. Things are bad right now in Browntown. And I think the Steelers, I mean, you look at the forecast, you look at what the Steelers have done. Even though I expect the Browns to play with an extra guy in the box, you look at some of the tape at Taysom Hill, there are 9 guys in the box, and the Saints are still running. 9. Like, you never do that, ever. And they're doing it, and they're still running on them. It's unreal what has happened to this Browns team. I don't fully understand it. It's a lot of the same personnel. They just cannot stop the run right now. And I think you're going to see a heavy, heavy dose of Najee Harris. He loves running in this stuff, and he loves undersized linebackers. Like, that is like 22 is on a mission to go put some guys into the ground every day. You put them out there. But, you look at this team, Hicks isn't that big. Bush is downright small. The safeties, Grant Delpit's a good player. Juan Thornhill was a free agent from Kansas City. Man, you look at some of the angles he took in that game against the Saints, against Taysom Hill specifically, it's ugly. Delpit, he loves hitting wide receivers coming down across the middle, but against a bigger running back, that's not his thing either. Maybe they'll get a guy like Rodney McLeod in there a little bit this game. I don't know. But I think the Steelers have a huge advantage in their physicality in the run game, especially if you can get Najee Harris into the second level where he can really bust up some dudes. I expect to see that a whole bunch in this game. I know the Browns are going to try their hardest to take it away, but I mean, you look at what happened in those Saints tape. They were trying their hardest to take it away in that game too, and they just were not able to do it. Really shocking to see from what I think is a pretty good defense and a well-run defense. I think Jim Schwartz is a heck of a defensive coordinator, a guy that I thought maybe should have gotten some head coach buzz a year ago. But I mean, it's not just, Taysom Hill obviously, 130 carries on 130 yards on 7 carries, but Alvin Kamara was chewing them up too. And so it's just it's not a very good Cleveland defense right now. I talked to some people in Cleveland this week who are very down on the run defense and their offense's ability to run the ball, which to me in this rivalry is always what matters. And in this game with the weather predicted to be what it is, some snow flurries maybe turning into some full-on lake effect throughout the game. It's going to be sloppy out there. You got to be able to run the ball, and I think the Steelers are going to be able to do it. That is my matchup for you to watch this week. Is 22 for Pittsburgh against 30 and his buddies for Cleveland. And I think that's a big win for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I'm not sure about the outcome of this game. More to come when me and DB give our full predictions for this one a little bit later on. And of course, like I said, like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Lots going on here on the YouTube channel today, throughout the day over at SteelersNow.com. I got to get out of here. I'm going to Cleveland. We'll see you guys a little bit later.